A lesson I've been trying to drill into people as of late is the concept of timing. I've seen people initiate fights when it would take a few members of their team 2 or 3 seconds to arrive, or run somewhere without any way that their teammates could respond to anything that happens in a timely fashion. Even though a second doesn't sound like a lot, it can definitely make a difference. Imagine initiating a fight onto an opponent that was out of position and their teammates can't respond for the first 3 seconds. That is 3 seconds of free damage you can deal without reciprocation. 3 seconds you will have to restore cooldowns, and 3 seconds to reposition yourselves to deal with the incoming enemies. In all the clips shown, you can see how the enemy is wasting time and making pointless trades, and then getting punished for them. Both these clips show a similar situation. Xin Zhao engages on me and tries to duke it out with me, but doesn't realize that even if he could win, it would take so much time to try to kill me, and perhaps during that time my homies would arrive and help me. He died 1v1, but the notion is still there. In the next clip, I get ganked by Nautilus with the assistance of Gnar, and I got greedy trying to snipe the Gnar, so I put myself in danger's way. After I realized I have failed, I try to flee, but there's no way I'd make it back. I then noticed my Orianna teammates showing up, so I try to keep them there as long as possible to give her a chance to pick off one of them. Fortunately for us, the Gnar didn't bother to get to safety and was easily killed by Orianna. Nautilus was also way too far from his tower and was easily picked off too, turning the situation into a plus for us. I wasted so much of their time, and they didn't take into consideration that a teammate of mine could come in and back me up. Not only that, but Nautilus wasted time top lane, meaning he wasn't pressuring any other lanes and neither of them were farming. It turned a shitty situation for me into a positive one. The other important thing about timing that players fail is response time. If you are trying to threaten your opponents, then you best only do that when you can actually do something. These next clips are quite irritating for how badly the failure of that is. Check this one. The Nunu is needlessly taking damage from Jinx. I assume it's because he's hoping to get her in a bad position where his teammates can jump on her, but there's no one in position to do that, nor can he do anything to make sure it happens. He's just taking free damage for no reason, and is even taken down to 1/5 of his health. It turns out really bad because when a fight actually does break out, he's so weak and can barely contribute anything. The fight was a catastrophe for them because the Nunu pointlessly threw away his health. Every auto attack thrown at Nunu for free was one less auto attack needed to bring him down in the fight. The time it would take Jinx or someone else to take down Nunu if he was at full health could have been the time the player needed to kill another teammate or retreat. If an ability had to be used to bring down Nunu, then that ability wouldn't be available for another teammate. This is further exemplified in this clip. Xin Zhao gets too close to me and I initiate on him. His teammates are way too far away to mount any resistance, so Xin is left to die. By the time they show up, Xin would have already been dead, and it would be essentially a 4v5. Watch it closely. After he's taken down, my team is already in a defensive position to deal with the enemy if they were to try to fight us. Most of our cooldowns are already back, and it would still take the enemy 2 to 3 seconds to even be battle ready. Now this is a frustrating clip to witness, but it's a clear-cut example of a meat grinder effect. The carry of the team was immediately killed at the start of the fight before they could even contribute anything. Not only that, but 2 members of the team are miles away from those being engaged on. One would have no chance of making it in time, while the other made it very late. Still, red team decides to continue fighting and dying one by one. The Malphite even engages despite it being obvious that the fight was lost hard. What makes that fight terrible to watch is that only one champion needed to die. As soon as Caitlyn died, the rest could have bailed. At minimum, at least 2 of them would have survived. The AD carry had put herself in such a dangerous spot for no reason. There was no way any teammate could adequately respond to her defense once shit had hit the fan. In the same vein as that, the enemy Janna wants to plant wards but is ignoring the fact that her teammates are way too far from her to help her. As soon as she's far enough, I engage on her and start tearing her to pieces. Her 2 teammates cannot come to her aid because they're split up by Malphite. Fiddlesticks does ult over to help, but it's just him versus an entire team, and he gets promptly murdered. Talon and Lucian actually had to walk all the way around before they could join the fight, effectively granting my team enough time to have killed their teammates safely and then turning on them. The Hecarim wanted to teleport in, but he knew full well there would be no gain as he'd be totally exposed and his teammates were too far. Count how many free seconds I had to kill that Janna before they joined the fight. I was able to kill her with a full rotation of my basic abilities and then have them up to fight the rest of them. We had 10 full seconds of Lucian and Talon not contributing to the fight. That was enough time to down Janna, down Fiddlesticks, scare off Hecarim, have our cooldowns back up, and be in position to safely press on. The best way to learn timing is to learn the strengths and weaknesses of every champion. It's a lot to ask, but there is no other way. You have to learn about how each champion could use their abilities, when a champion is most vulnerable, and how much space each champion can threaten. If a champion is weaker without an ability and they've used it, then it's a good time to consider fighting or avoiding a fight if it's your own teammate. Is an enemy in position in which it will take a lot of resources to assist them if they are engaged on? If so, then you have a good chance to start a fight in a strong position, as they may have to burn spells to get in position to even fight you, rather than using them on you straight out. I guarantee that if you learn to pick your fights appropriately, that you will come out with cleaner fights and fewer blowouts. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Make sure to also check out the sponsors that make this channel possible. Links to their websites are in the description below.